Hi everybody, welcome to My Good Life. I'm Uzma. So last week I didn't post a video because it's that time of year for people who live sustainably and kind of follow nature, that this time of year you are getting ready for winter. And that's what I'm doing here. I have to get ready for winter months in advance, because what you're trying to do is collect wood, in my case, where I've got wood fire burners in the house, and I don't want to use any other heating. So you've got to get dry wood for kindling. You've got to go around and see what's been damaged by storms. By the way, guys, let me tell you something. I have got an awful toothache. So if I'm sounding a bit weird, it's because I've got a horrible toothache here, and for love of money, I can't get an appointment with the dentist. So, my dentist appointment was booked months in advance, and it's gone worse. So I apologise if you think I'm speaking a bit weirdly. Anyway, back to the story. Right. So we go around looking at trees that have fallen around our area, and the ones that have fallen, just to be sustainable, we collect those, and that's our firewood. If it's usually it's in our area, we've got some areas here that we are allowed to take from, so it isn't going off in a forest and finding a national park, finding a fallen tree and taking it from there. I don't recommend that unless you've asked permission. So if you're lucky enough to live in an area with the wood, fine if you can take it. Anyway, so today, over the last few weeks, that's what we've been doing: gathering wood, gathering kindling, and I'm going to take you along with me, and at the end of this little segment I'll give you some learnings. Hi guys. Well, I thought it'd be interesting before I started splitting the log to just show you the different kinds of axes one has to use for a job like this. This here is used for cutting down the trees or the logs, into their shapes. So it's really, really handy in the initial phase. And this here is used for splitting the logs further down into kindling. So a really important one as well when you start the fire. And here is what's called a broad axe. If you remember, us making the benches, it's really used for shaping, making furniture, and like we used for the benches. Hang on, let me show it to you. It's interesting. There you go. And it's got this very, very sharp edge, really heavy as well. You would think, let's be honest, before I started on this journey of good living, really, and trying to make our lives more My Good Life, for those who've seen that sitcom, it was, I realised you had to get all this stuff to do a simple task. It's been a really big learning curve. But look, I'll talk about that at the end. Okay. Right, the one we're going to use now is called a splitting maul, and it's very heavy. This is used to split the log for firewood. So you can see it's very heavy at this end and thinner here. Hopefully you can see it. And the reason for that is as I swing, from the back down, it's got to fall by the force of gravity as well, and hopefully split the log in one go. But when I first started, it took me many attempts. And sometimes when you're filming, I bet you it's going to take me many attempts. But anyway, let's just do it. Wish me luck. Wish me luck. So here, I'm going to turn this around because it was a bit wonky and wobbly, so where it's flat. It's important as you pick up each log that you see where the flat side is, put the flat side on the base, and then just kind of check it out. Like this one's got a bit of knots. I can tell that this is going to be quite hard to get right to the bottom. Where it's knotty, it's quite hard usually. You just got to judge your log before hitting it and take a moment to compose yourself for the next strike. Bit like life, really. Think about things before you put things into action. Right, there you go. See? Beautiful, isn't it? Just beautiful. And this gives fire. Okay, now I've got this log. I'm looking at it. There's one thing I want to say. When you are going to swing, and especially when I'm swinging like this with this kind of heavy axe, this is quite big for me. I've got to have a controlled swing. So it takes a while for your muscles to kind of pick up on that rhythm. And as I hold it, I'm holding this one right at the bottom here, but this, which is closer to the splitting part of the axe, should move freely up and down. The movement is like this. So judging the distance, a little bit, further away, I then take this axe, swing it around my head, and as it comes down, I move my hand like that. That's what's supposed to happen. And in reality, it gets you have to get used to it. So let's go ahead and do this. So this wood, can you see, red inside? Guess what that is, guys? Do you remember from my video with the bench? This is the larch. So just a little branch off the larch. Yummy smell. And this here is a spruce. So there you are. Much harder wood to kind of cut into. And I could feel that. I could feel that. So it's quite hard work. And you get quite a lot of exercise done, arms and back. I'm going to carry on doing this wood chopping for a few hours now, so I don't want to film every single part of it. But another part of this is also gathering smaller kindling, and for that I'm going to show you how I do that, and it's in another part of the wood here. So let me go and show you that, and have a little musing around there. Okay, go on. So you remember I did that mushroom video and collecting mushrooms and making the fire. This is the pit here. I'm in that same area, and this is a big bag. All I'm going to do now is pick kindling. Now kindling, you've got to pick it when it's dry as possible, but this kindling may not be ready till next year. I've already picked a bag last year, which is in the shed, and I'll show you that if I haven't already. So really, this is kind of, you work in a year in advance. You've got to follow nature. You've got to understand how nature works, and really get yourself immersed in it. And it's taken me a while to understand that picking kindling is still too wet. It may look dry. It's got to dry completely to the core. Different sizes of kindling makes a difference in your fire. I mean, who knew? Who knew? But every day in nature is a learning curve, and I love it. Okay, enough talking. Let's get to it. So now, watching me, gather wood for kindling, well, it can be a bit boring really. So I'm going to end. I've got to carry on doing this the whole day. So I'll kind of split my time between, hey, that's a joke, splitting. Split my time between, gathering kindling and going splitting logs. So, when I get bored of this, because it can be a little boring, sometimes, just gathering and doing this, and then I go and split logs. But whatever it is, I'm out in nature. One of the things that I find really good is how nature provides us with such an important element for human beings, fire, heat through this wood. But also, it's interesting to understand how I have to adapt to nature, wait for this wood to dry. And all the time, I am learning about myself. I am learning patience. Patience in nature. What does it mean? It's a completely different learning to when you sit with someone and you learn something about your inner emotions. Being out in nature, I'm learning about my own character, my own thought process. What is it that bores me? What is it that interests me? Why is it that I'm not able to be patient and work in this linear manner? Why do I have to jump from one place to the other? It calms me as I do this. That's what I take away from it. Wow, it's also a beautiful day and it's a bit hot. So I'm going to carry on, and I will be showing you over the course of a few weeks other jobs that I've done over winter, and talking about some of those learnings that I get for myself. So until next time, everybody, take care and goodbye.